Jumbo. My name is Mama Cherise, and I am at the Ujima Heritage Cultural Learning Center. And I would like to talk to you about Juneteenth. At the Ujima Heritage of Learning Cultural Center, as you can see, there are many photos and pictures about African American history here in America. This particular display is about the Juneteenth celebration that happens on June 19th every year by many African Americans. You may ask the question, what is Juneteenth? And why is it important to us as African Americans? Well, June 19, 1865 is the actual date that many of the slaves finally realized that they had been made free in Texas. As you all may be familiar with the fact that America held slaves in black skin for more than 400 years in this country. And that it was not until the South began to gain a lot of wealth and the North going through the industrial period but not holding slaves in that context, began to experience a little bit of, I call it jealousy or envy, because the slave-making wealth in the South had created such a plush environment and atmosphere for the western part of the country, for the southern, where slave labor was causing them to have a very cushy lifestyle. So first the North began to try and tax the South, and the South was resistant. Finally, a civil war became imminent, and this war was in order to get the South to cooperate and to share the wealth, so to speak. President Lincoln did not apply the Emancipation Proclamation to the states, the southern states that didn't rebel against the Union, meaning they did not resist being taxed, resist sharing the wealth. It was, to be honest with you black people, it was more of a punishment to the slave-holding states who refused to share the wealth that the black gold was creating. And so it was kind of a punishment between the white American president and the government towards the southern slave holders who refused to be taxed and to give freely of their free earnings, their labor, their free labor, their black gold. So freeing the slaves was really just a side note in that regard. So while many white Americans did join the Civil War because of their moral goodness and because the war cry was to free the slaves, for the politicians, the government, and many of the white leaders of that day, slavery was more of a negotiating tool. And so, once again, we deal, as we celebrate the Juneteenth celebration, with the complicated fabric of the American populace, of the American legacy. And as we consider this celebration, we also consider those who did not want to let go of their wealth, and in some cases their slaves who were now part of their family. It was a destruction to them of much of what this year, as we celebrate Juneteenth, let us reflect carefully on where we have come from, where we are today, and where we desire to be tomorrow. Let us not look myopically at the past, Let us not draw narrow conclusions about history or about people. Let us remember that while there was a concentrated effort by the leaders of America to suppress freedom, but let us realize that we are not yet free, and not even today are many white Americans any longer free. That the same hand that caused the black slave bodies to remain slaves has now enslaved us all, and that we the people must unite in a greater moral effort, in a greater vision, in a more embracing of a colorful society. And while we can still observe these same hands today suppressing freedom, we, the people, are the ones who will make a better and brighter future. But we must always think deeply about what freedom means for us as an African American person and persons and people, as a black people, and what does freedom mean to the world? Let us stand up and take our place as the leaders of society this day as we celebrate Juneteenth. Thank you.